Alright, so it's been a while since I made the last voice video. It's probably like back in April or something. But with something this big happen, I could not share my thought about it. I don't have a live reaction recorded, by the way. I watched it on my phone, half asleep on my bed. But it's 3 AM for me, what do you expect? And legit, I have never been more excited with single player Final Fantasy game in a long time. And 99% of the reason is just for that few seconds of gameplay they shown. I am more of a fan of action RPG title in Final Fantasy series, and I am all for the main series game to be moving toward that direction. Cause before we only got a spin-off title like Crisis Core Type Zeros, now we got a big game like Final Fantasy 15 or 7 Remake. But even all those games I mentioned, I feel like it's still not going too far on the action direction for me. It still retains a lot more of traditional Final Fantasy RPG elements, while the action element is not really a focus of the game or not really well thought out. Okay, maybe except Final Fantasy 15, but they forgot to put a mechanic in that game. 7 Remake being a biggest example here. While you can play that game actively like an action game, it's not really preferred compared to the more patient approach, with really limiting ability you can put on shortcut. Selecting other ability or switching party members stop the game for a bit and really break the flow. And the thing like dodging or blocking doesn't reward player that much. After you're getting a hang of the simple action combat it has, the rest of the game play more like the original Final Fantasy 7 if anything else. Not saying it's a bad thing, of course, the game have a lot of depth, but it's a lot more on the tactical side and barely on the action side. I'm rambling on this for a good minutes because Final Fantasy 16 seems to be going off on the way opposite direction. I can already guess that they will simplify a lot of traditional Final Fantasy elements, like party member will be less of a focus if there's any at all. The list of magic spells will likely be smaller than usual. Like it's likely there won't be any kind of debuff or buff you can cast willy-nilly like traditional Final Fantasy game. But all these make up by, well, from the looks of it, the most fresh out action gameplay the series has ever got. Like with only about 20 seconds of gameplay, we got fast and fluid melee combo, quickly casting magic while moving, different magic animation that can be used after dodge or combos, a proper dodge and guard mechanic that actually rewards you for good timing. That's literally the first thing they show. And there's aerial combat, juggling, a freaking juggling. Yeah, no offense to 7 Remake, but coming from that game, aerial combat, to this, and like there's a different moveset you get from a summon kind of thing. It's not like a slow giant attack or an AI control partner, it's literally your moveset. There's Garuda with rapid attack, a Titan that can counter I think, a Phoenix that can do a launcher, and wait, what's that? That's literally a Devil Snatch. You can yoink enemy towards you. This is straight up Devil May Cry and I freaking love it. And of course it is, as it turns out. Ryota Suzuki, who worked on Devil May Cry 5 and Dragon Dogma, is working as a battle director of this game. And seriously, with this and hiring Teruki Endo to be a battle director of 7 Remake, they're actually making good use of that 10 billion yen budget they have. Anyway, to top it off, Yoshi P is also a producer.
Ooh boy.
It's been rumored/hint for a while, so it's not really a surprise. But with his track record of finishing down a dumpster fire of a game into an actually pretty good one,
Burn it!
and also keep it alive until now, I'm pretty confident that this game is in a good hand. Just don't delay the game for years like every other Square Enix game we have now. Oh, what am I saying? I expect that at this point. Okay, back to the gameplay part. This is another case of the main game in the series got changed in different direction. And by that I mean this is a 5 consecutive time it happens. Starting from 10, and I don't count 14 because it's already happened in 11. This time it's kinda like 15 again, but it's actually made by people who know how to make action game, and also probably not in development hell. TLDR is that they expect Final Fantasy fans to play Devil May Cry game, or at least a toned down version of it. I don't expect the characters to have like 100 move or something with weird input like R1 back forward circle, and they're not gonna have a ranking system that constantly yelling dismal at you. But you know, you have to do combos and juggling and you have to actually react to things. But regardless, this element to the game they added is definitely going to replace a lot of Final Fantasy stable elements, and that's not gonna jive well with number of fans. But that's the nature of switching genre, it's never gonna please everyone. Like how I don't like 7 Remake as much as other fans, and many fans of traditional RPG is definitely not gonna like 16 as much as 7 Remake. I'm looking only at combat system by the way. I mean at this point, no matter how good this single game is, it cannot please more than half of its fans. And their solution is pretty much, just don't make one game, just make multiple games with different focus. At the very least, we have to wait for next year for any more info, I guess. It's only real reason for me to buy PS5 at this point. Sure, DMC5 Special Edition coming out at launch, I'm motivated, but I could just buy DLC from PS4 version. And until then, it's gonna be quite a long time, isn't it? Maybe I can muster some motivation to finish a free trial of Final Fantasy XIV, or actually start making voice video again. Especially the one about a really good Final Fantasy action game that people don't really talk about. What was that again? Like Studying with L or something? I don't know. Anyway, see ya.